I am Andy Black, and this is the Sorare Data watch party for the Kylian Mbappé unique card. Most of you probably expected Andrew Laird to be sitting here, but you get me instead. And also, you get our friend, Quinny.
Hey.
What do you got to say? What do you got to say? What's going on?
I'm back with Black.
Back with Black or back in Black?
Back with Black.
Let's go.
Love it. I've seen to you, Andy, when I was looking forward to seeing you in the captain's chair today and see how you got on with handling all the controls and manoeuvring the ship through this voyage that we're going to go on together.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly. I'm not familiar with any of these. Like, there's all these crazy buttons everywhere and like these switches and yeah, it's gonna be dangerous having me at the stream could just end at any time. So let's hope we get to the end of this auction.
Yeah, I hope so. I listened to Max and Andy office hours, whatever that was, and I put a little tweet out. I don't know if you've seen it, but it sounded like Max was suggesting that the over under. Because I know you love an over under, Andy. So I was thinking ahead. Max was chatting around the 75 mark. I put a little poll out on the Twitter sphere, and the people on Twitter reckon 70% of them are on the over.
You said 70% are on the over?
Yep.
I think that I was really liking the around. So I heard a lot of predictions from people, and I heard a lot of things closer to 100. And honestly, when I asked you the over/under, I was going to say over/under 100.
Ooh, really? I thought it's been a bit higher too.
I think I'm under at 100 though. You said that you're setting the over/under at 75.
No, I thought. Well, Max said something to Andy, and it made me think that 75 was maybe the bar, of discussion. I thought 100, but because Haaland went for, what did Haaland go for again?
Just recently it was like 60 something, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I thought Mbappe, I don't know, just because Mbappe's a bit more of a piece, I think. He's a bit more of a, don't want to use any crude language, but it's a bit more of, putting your meat on the table. And Mbappe, PSG and all that kind of stuff, World Cup winner, France, all that kind of stuff.
Does it matter to you that he loses his U23 at the end of the season and Haaland does not?
Well, Mbappe is a lot of the value of the U23 pool. So you can still win Mbappe with Mbappe, Yeah. So obviously you're not going to win a unique Mbappe, but the point of, that's kind of what the mission is, I suppose, isn't it?
I didn't even consider that as being part of the idea, that when he ages out, he also leaves the reward pool. So the top prize drops significantly in U23.
Yeah. Whereas Haaland, obviously, is kind of still got that status in his mind. But as the U23 pool is different with no Mbappe in it, Haaland goes to the top of the tree, which isn't a bad thing, but Haaland is a 2 and Mbappe is a 1 is a bit more attractive, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. So over-unders. I'm going to say it goes between 75 and 100. So I'm going to say over 75, under 100. So I'm going to play with both of those two numbers.
Okay. I'll take the over as well.
Over 75?
Yeah, I would take the over 75 for sure. And I don't know, I had 100 in my mind because the Haaland was always listed at like 105 or something. And I thought, well, I don't think anyone is, no one bought it for that price, obviously, but I just kind of thought maybe that's what people expect to be the upper spend of a card. So I just thought maybe that 100 might, we've been surprised before we've done these little watch-alongs. It just takes this Pranksy Plays, for example, like see in the real NFT world, 75 ETH is nothing, really to a lot of people in a lot of situations. So if him and somebody else have a wee fight, I don't know, it could go something mental. Pranksy Plays is number 1 now, isn't he?
Yeah. I wonder how serious he is about going for this card. I don't really know his gallery that well, but I think he only has the one unique that he bought, the Newcastle, that new striker at Newcastle, Isaac.
Yep.
How you pronounce it? I think that's his only unique right now. So I don't know how well this card fits his gallery, but honestly, he's a new gallery. He's building, so it would be a great like central core piece to build around.
For sure. I was just want to say two things for anyone in the chat that does struggle with the accent. I will try and slow my roll. It might help you a bit, okay? But also, Andy, he's up to 8 uniques now, 63 supers.
Okay,
His
I take
gallery
that.
value is 116 ETH right now. And he's been here for 5 minutes. So, I mean, man, like to some of these NFT people, like 100 ETH is nothing. Like all these other things, you know.
Johnny says that auto bid will be very interesting here. Is auto bid working on
Ooh.
this card?
Interesting indeed.
Um,
Who's going to bid and find out for us?
I know if I
Get those
click
digits
on
out.
it, okay, it looks like max bid is something that's available there. Have you noticed that max bid's not available on all the cards right now? I don't know.
I've not been on auctions, so
Yeah, I know. I was playing around on a few, and there was like half the cards that I was trying to bid on, auto bid was available. Half of them, auto bid was not available on. It was a very bizarre experience. I don't know if it's like new cards have it, old cards don't, or something. I don't know. Or maybe the
it's
other
a
way.
great observation from chat here, Andy, as well. They're saying that if you look at Pranksy, he's always 0002. That must be the auto bids
Okay.
that are kicking in. That's neat, actually, isn't it? Because it is just enough. That's what you want, isn't it? I want
Yeah.
to be 2 pence in front if they push me, you know. Don't want to be going all the way to top dollar. So that's good, actually. That's quite reassuring.
Yeah. So Quinny, in what world would you buy this card? Like where do you need to be in your life to be able to afford this and make it happen?
I am definitely living somewhere mad sunny, right? Proper sunny. I'm talking beach territory, maybe remote, like desert island territory, you know, and maybe somewhere where you're so rich you've got your own football team there as well, perhaps. And then
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe this is just what you put in the top drawer of your sock drawer or something. I don't know.
Sure. So I assume that's not the case right now.
No, it's definitely not. Could be
Who
further from that.
are the players? Who are the players here? Pranksy, JR,
Well,
Bellamont.
Katozi's mixing it.
Yeah.
Yep, Bellama. I don't know if we would see a Max come back in against this. Max has been present in all these major auctions. So I don't know whether he's just getting involved or I think he picked one up recently. In fact, I can't remember which one it was we watched, but so there's probably a few. But I say Mbappe, this is now issue 3. So who has number 1 and 2 again? Let me fresh.
I thought Max has the very, very first one.
Yep, that doesn't he? Let me go check him out. Is then that kind of probably rules. I don't know. Max did go after the second one. That's why I'm thinking that, didn't he? So maybe there's a wee bit of the old guard, but I feel that Bambi got the last one.
Jacqueline said YNWA has been doing a garage sale. I wonder if he would reinvest for a card like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think he's gone mad for basketball. You know, if you see all his tweets or whatever. But with some of these big whale traders, you don't know if they're just doing propaganda. You know, they're just you know,
for sure,
giving it a bit of that because you know, like looking at both of these Mbappes, like Max M paid 116 ETH. Now, obviously, the price of ETH was totally different on each 3 of these Mbappes. But 116, then 153. So the over under on 100. Which, you know, is maybe probably better than 75, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
I
wonder if Pavel gets involved.
I do really miss the days when you could see other users' ETH balances on Sorare data. I know that it was a feature that was like very contentious, but for things like this, it would be fun to just be able to look at a couple of the big guys' balances and just get a gauge for what their level of interest is right now.
Yeah, so they've got loaded up and ready to rock. So I see I'm going to go, yeah, I don't think there's anyone else in the historic bids that would maybe return. It looks like somebody here just played up the auto bids right at the beginning. But yeah, no, this guy's probably going to have his way with it. JR Duke is on it at 16 ETH if you go all the way back. Rivaldo trades as well. Don't know if he would come back. But yeah, there's definitely a few people that could go after this. And let's say you're going to be playing this in All Star, or you're going to be playing this in Champion Europe or something, aren't you? You're going to be looking for winning super rare Mbappe or winning super rare Haaland with something like this.
Little bump there. I guess Roxy came in and
oh yeah,
there was 51 ETH bid in there.
Roxy just testing the waters, just cricking the fingers.
Yeah, where we at?
50. It's just guessing a number now for these people, isn't it? What is the number that he's got on auto bid? Because that's kind of the game now, isn't it? Is he's won by getting the first big auto bid on, eh? He
You're
controls the
talking
situation.
just purely from a strategic standpoint. I don't know. Yeah, I guess there is pretty good advantage there. Although, I almost feel like people will just push and push and push just to see where you're at. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game of chicken.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a card you're after, how are you bidding on it? Are you just min bidding all the way up, or are you gonna put something big in there like Pranksy may have done here? And
Bellamaz got us up to 60.
It's a question for you, Quinny. How would you handle the bidding for a card like this? Would you min bid, or would you put a big number out there?
My tactics won't work anymore, so I don't mind sharing them, right? But what I used to love doing, you've maybe heard me say this before, but if you time it, right, this is especially something if you're going to try and snipe it, right? This might still work on some occasions, right? But for me and how quick I am on my phone, if I put a bid in at 1:07, my bid will be registered at 1 minute on the dot, and then that gives anyone else not that much time to get the email notification, of course, wake up out their bed, blah, 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 blah. So if it's a wee sneaky one, I used to like that kind of trick. And I think with this, I would probably do that repeatedly to try and frustrate people if they were in a war, because it does feel like you're against somebody. I've been after bidding wars and I've been caught up in some big cards, Andy. You've done the same, but you do feel it's mano a mano at one point, don't you?
For sure. And what's funny is I never really took that into consideration until probably 6 months ago. Is that email notification? So I would bid on things 3 or 4 minutes before just to get my bid in, and then
no.
Yeah,
you're sounding the alarm then.
Yeah, well, you're 100% right. A minute away, you give them as little time to ingest the notification and log in and bid as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Looking at the action here,
the game it's just card on the table, isn't it?
Yeah. Looking at the action over here, we're up to 65. Bellama has put in a bid. Roxy has put in a bid. Oof. And whatever Pranksy's min bid is just having no issue holding up.
It is holding, man. This is going to be a fun one, eh? 70. Oh, if Roxy's pushing. It's just funny because you can just see that he's staying on top the whole time. This is a bit of a boss move, isn't it? Getting that first max bid in,
Yeah.
Quite good
strategy. But I mean,
if
you have a number that you're satisfied with getting the card at, and you just put your 100 in there or whatever it is. I mean, I get it.
Oh, for sure. With the price of uniques and everything as well recently, I think this guy Pranksy, he is fucking nailed his timing of arrival for the entry point of the game. He's going for everything, So fucking caps off to him.
We found the
Oh, 80. Do you think he was on the votes for the over/under?
Gargi says Roxy arrived.
I wonder what Bellamaz put his at then, because he must have just put something to get to 83.21 or whatever,
You got Bambi and Bella in there.
Bella's got control of the wheel now. It's kind of like capture the flag. It's kind of what's going on now.
Right at 69 bids, 93 ETH. Bambi has finally taken the lead. We're under 100. We're over 75.
69. Oh, 70.
Oh, okay. Hello. Hi, Pranksy.
He's back. He got the notification. Loving it, man. Loving it. So I think we're breaking 100. Do we get to... So the last Mbappe went for, what was it, 153 ETH? Bambi it was that got it.
I would have said no way in hell, but I mean, we're sitting here at 105 now, and we have both Roxy, Bambi, Pranksy, all of the big whales right now are involved. And, as we've talked about before on these shows, all it takes is two people to want the card to reach ridiculous levels. And it seems like there's 3 or 4 guys that are really interested in having this card. So,
Peyton, this makes me nervous and I've got no idea why.
yeah, me too for some reason. Up to 109 now, Roxy.
That is
I think it was Harry on our last show that just said if Roxy wants a card, Roxy gets a card.
Yeah. I say for these.
Or was that JR Duke? It might have been JR Duke he was talking about. I don't remember. Both of them to me are the same because they just have unlimited funds, it feels like.
AJ was that guy for me when I was like buying a lot of cards. If I seen AJ show up in an auction, I was like, oh, you're going to fuck off, man. Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was a time where he was just winning everything. So we're down to 20 seconds on 190. We have people
are counting their chips.
It looks like. We have Mark rooting them on.
Oh.
Gargi rooting them on.
This is the last chance to win, 5 seconds. 109 ETH. Wonder what that is in pounds. I can see it on your screen in dollars. 158 closed.
Yeah. So in dollars, it was $195,000, which is in this market, that's insane. That's a house.
Yeah. Yep, that's my house.
House, digital card, whatever, right?
It looks nice, man, doesn't it?
Yeah. So Roxy ends up with it. Who did we say had the other Mbappe uniques?
Bambi and Max.
Bambi and Max.
Yeah. So this guy's got like 203 uniques already. And Roxy, like, everyone remembers, if you've been playing Sorare for a while, everyone remembers when Roxy like showed up on the platform because it was like Bill in a China shop situation, wasn't it? He just came in and just swooped up multiples of stuff and bought stuff overnight. So this is probably like, just having a quick gander at what he's got. That's a huge piece for him to add in. 203 uniques now. He also got Bruno Fernandes 7 days ago. Antonio Silva, the rookie at Benfica recently. Wirtz, he got Wirtz 2 months ago for 41 ETH. What do you think of that? Wirtz for 2 Mbappes and a half.
I mean, what did you say? It was 51 ETH?
41.
41 ETH. Yeah, I mean, that seems like a steal, but also, too, like, that was a couple weeks ago. Like, that was during probably the scariest time on the platform to buy a card. Just everybody was a lot of FUD, a lot of doubt, a lot of people scared. I get it. And then also, too, like, it's not like his Wirtz came back and just completely smashed. Like, he's been rotated in some of these games, and I don't know. Takes a year to come back from an ACL, right?
Yeah. I think they're definitely looking after him. He's their £200 million baby, so they're going to look after him forever, man. But yeah, it's huge pickups for him, and don't really know what it does at that end of the game. I don't pay attention to D1s that often, but I think with all the threshold stuff been doubled over the last week, or the last couple of days, like, it definitely shows some sort of sign of intent from Sorare to look after that end of the game. So maybe that's why this is maybe the over-under before the threshold announcement. Maybe do you think that's made much of a difference? I don't know if I'm just babbling nonsense, but...
Gargi with a really good point here. Pranksy
had 100
ETH on Sorare to spend. Yikes.
He got to 100.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the fact he deposited 200 is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Sorare definitely seen that, didn't they? And they went, right, let's auction Mbappe this week.
Yeah, I won't touch that one. I mean, that Not touching that one for sure. How much does the 2022 Holland Unique go for? What do you mean, last year's card?
The City one, I guess, and he means this year's. We've not had it yet, have we?
I guess not. His City card?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's only got... Oh, he does have it. Sorry, yeah, we're tripping. No, he doesn't. Sorry, it's just a Dortmund one.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of speculation. We have a lot of whales with large balances right now, to be expected. Honestly, though, like when I think about like effects on secondary, I don't know that those guys are. I don't know that they have a lot of needs. They have most of the cards that they want already. I think that it's really only the premium uniques that a guy like Roxy might be after anymore. Could be completely wrong. I did see one of them. It was Roxy or Duke just swept the floor of commits over one of those down.
Yeah.
One of the dips that we had. They just were like, all right, I'll buy 6 commits.
Not a bad spot to be in.
Wouldn't that be fun? Just to
Wouldn't
be
that
like,
be
I'm
amazing?
gonna sweep the messy floor.
Yeah. I thought, seeing the price of Messi Limited, so I did think about buying one or two just for the fun of it.
What are they down to?
Oh, they got under £200.
Yeah.
You know, so like not much at all. So
Yeah. In that regards, though, like if that card's £200, then like what's the best reward, like a Mbappe limited that you can win? Like
I think Mbappe's about 6. Yeah.
600. Yeah.
Something like that. Give or take. But yeah, so I'm not too sure. Yeah, because I say once, especially Roxy buying that Mbappe, it's not as if that money, that 100 ETH gets into the secondary market somehow. Like that's Sorare's revenue. Like they've just put that in their back pocket for today. You know, so I need to get a Domino's or something for lunch at the office. Domino's and beers. Was that the day you do that?
It's just 360 unique thresholds worth of card. That's it. I don't know about that math. I'm gonna need someone to fact check that.
I'm sure this guy's going after podiums, not thresholds.
I mean, he's got a cap down to 57 right now. That's how does that's just his L. No, that's his L5 and his L15. How does that happen?
That's magic, isn't it? I seen somebody else that had that, and I thought the same thing. Well, that's very consistent, you know.
Seems low.
Like, yeah.
You're not going to play him in cap 240, but you almost can.
It'd be funny, wouldn't it? Just did it for a prank one day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I picked up somebody the other day that is like a 0 cap hit for 240 this weekend, and
fun.
I mean, if you play a 0 in there, then you can play almost anybody.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Got 4 spots to consume 240, so.
So this was originally meant to be a Sorare Andrews, obviously until Laird couldn't make it and we had Mbappe on. So I don't want to follow you too much into the old playbook of going off topic from Mbappe and stuff, right? But
sure.
How do you see with all the stuff that's happened, particularly over the last month or so, strategy-wise coming into this weekend, do you have a different perspective on opportunity and priorities as you did maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Are you talking just market?
Just you. When you're building your teams this weekend and what you're thinking about.
I mean, typically the only thing that I care about is building the best. And I got to be careful with the way I say that. Building the best lineups that I can, responsibly. Like I don't like to go out and buy too many of the like super premium cards. My goal is to try to win those cards, and I like to. Like a lot of the stuff that I play is kind of junk. Like I have some premium cards, don't get me wrong, but like I run Santos Laguna stacks. I run Atlas stacks. Like I really enjoy, I don't know if it's rooting for the underdog or what, but I'm going to continue. Like nothing for me has changed. I'm going to continue running some of the junk that I run. I don't know. It brings me joy rooting for Santos Laguna on a Saturday night. And watching them lose 4-1.
Love it. No, fair enough, man. Because I was just thinking because like when I'm looking at this weekend, like I don't know. I think moving scarcity up, I think for everyone has just got a wee bit more appealing, if you know what I mean. Maybe not anything's changed dramatically over the last week for the limited to rare move, if that makes sense. But certainly people that were messing with rares at any level are thinking and looking at the blue cards now. And
For sure.
anyone that's got over 10 supers is looking at the black ones and doing all sorts of maths every 3 hours of the day. They try to work stuff out and everything. So it's I've kind of changed my perspective for this game week. I'm toying between trial running, like changing my teams up a bit just for this weekend and just going for something a bit different and see how it flies. But you know what it's like, mate? Like you've got these cards and you know, like X amount of scores are going to happen over the season. And you know, it's like you've got a guy that pops off and you've just put him in the wrong place or you've put him with some duds and you've normally any other week I would have put him here. I'm always scared of that feeling, you know? So don't know what to do myself this week.
Question for you, and actually for everyone in chat, while we got people here. Did you listen to the John Nellis So Far So Rare? And are there any big takeaways? Because I have not listened to it yet. I tried, but like work stuff was going on, and I got like 5 minutes in, and then this happened. So, did you get any big takeaways from that?
Burn mechanism is on the drawing board.
You said burn mechanism? Burn
is on the drawing board. Like that's like they did stress to John. It's nowhere near anything, you know. So I think it's like it's written on the board. Like that's
it's written on the board. I wonder, does that mean that it's like they're going to do it or they're investigating the
deep dive investigation is almost a quote.
Okay.
Paraphrasing, but yeah, something like that. And there was one or two other kind of things that were kind of interesting in terms of maybe not so much direct answers to questions, but just little inferences. I listened to it before coming on today, and I can't actually remember exactly what I'm thinking about when I say that, but there was just little things that they were talking about, and you could tell the way they were referencing things. Perhaps like what was it? They were talking about like revamping the game modes, and they're almost certainly like secondary market fees to football is like a definite. It's just a matter of when.
Assumed that, I like this right here. So coins for special tournament entry. So I guess when they do like the AC Milan or Napoli giveaways or whatever, you might have to give up a bundle of so coins or something. I kind of like that. That's cool. As a whale, I like that. That's going to have some extra so coins.
That's it. So they did stress again that later in the pod, like any like additional revenue streams are not pushing that. So I think that's probably. I don't think transaction fees are like coming. I don't know. Maybe they'll be here for next season. I don't know, but I don't think it's anything. I don't think a lot of this stuff they maybe said there is something that's. I don't know. It's hard to say. You better listen to it to yourself. I might listen to it again. The second time. But
I'll have time this afternoon. I'll give a listen. Looks like positive burn mechanism. They are testing dispatching merchandise. Commons will be traded. That's what Connor says here. And then Mark mentioned that they're addressing credit card fraud and multi accounts, which I think we saw an announcement. It was yesterday that they're going to pause credit card purchases on the secondary market. I assume you can still make credit card purchases on the primary market. What was your overall thoughts on that? Did that worry you or anything?
No, I think it's they're just it's Sorare, or I don't know how much money they've cost themselves or whatever, but I think it's a great move. They're just protecting people from themselves because see, doing a credit card buy on the secondary market, it's a 10% charge from Sorare. Never mind what your card would charge you for doing that transaction, you know. So like a friend of mine signed up to Sorare about 2 weeks ago or something, and you know, told him, "I'll walk you through it, buddy. Don't run ahead and buy cards." And what did they do? They ran ahead and bought cards. Not only that, but he bought them card transaction secondary market, like just blindly on the floor, you know. And he knew what he was doing. He could see all the fees and everything. But you know, so I was when I seen it, I was like, oh, that's kind of a good thing because new people are kind of protected from themselves to an extent. Because the deposit mechanism, I think, is kind of okay enough, I suppose. And if you want a card to buy it on your card, you're better going off to the primary market where you're not getting that 10% hit, and you'll probably get a better deal on if they've got an auction going, of course. So personally, I was just my own POV on it. Was just like, oh, well, that's good because no one might fall into that. You know, sometimes people will learn that lesson by buying the card and then they look at their bank statement and they go, hold on a minute, I thought that was only £200. Why is it 220? You know, so yeah, I don't know. That was my initial. But apparently, if people were upset about it, I didn't realize so many people bought with their card on the secondary. It's like the most inefficient way to do anything on Sorare. Like,
get that 10% fee. Vespasian said that it generally sounds like coins are going to become integral to everything, not just a side amusement. That's really interesting to me. I don't know if I like that or hate that, but it will
a lot said they wanted they want the coin market to be, or the coin economy to be like the main attraction of Sorare. Like, if you know what I mean, like that's why you're coming to play the game, like, because you get coins, and what do the coins get you? It's tickets, experiences, and that's a lot of this stuff. And again, when they mentioned J League, that was another thing that came up, that negotiate. It sounds like it's that kind of stuff that they're really pushing to get. I don't know, because they were saying it's not to do with money.
What did you say regarding J League?
It's not to do with money, but again, so they said it wasn't anything to do with money, and they wouldn't really say what it was to do with, of course. But John said, are they trying to rip the backside out of you on this deal? And they said, no, it's not really anything to do with money. It's to do with other things. And then later on, they're talking about when they're in these partnerships, they're making sure on every deal they're getting everything they can get,
Right. They want tickets, they want jerseys, they want all of the extra goodies, I guess, which that's been the part they've had. My opinion, they've had the most difficulty, like giving away tickets and jerseys and stuff like that. It's I mean, a lot of that is just like logistics, and that's not easy for a company that doesn't like all of the logistics right now are digital and programmable, blah 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 blah. But like when you actually talk about real logistics of like shipping people jerseys, transferring them tickets, like all of these like other little things, that's not their line of business. So it's weird to me that they're like wanting to bring all of that in and not just using like a third party to handle like logistics, like the mystery jersey giveaway stuff. Like, I don't know, it feels like they could have done something simple and just use the third party, offer gift cards or something and give those away. But I don't know. It's interesting that they want to bring all that stuff in. I just, I hope that they're gonna bring in like the guys and the team to be able to support the logistics around that stuff.
Yeah. I see Surface is saying it's not about money, that kind of stuff to do with the J League. I think it might be a case of more, maybe Sorare are pushing to be like the Sorare J League or something mad like that. Maybe they're pushing for some sort of level of integration. It's not necessarily the tickets and the tops, but like we've seen in La Liga and the Premier League, and even when I go to Celtic Park, like there's different levels of the partnership they've got in different places, of course. So I don't know, maybe that's a move that they're pushing for. It's maybe something as far-reaching as that.
We've seen all the growth from like the marketing perspective, where they do like the announced lineups presented by Sorare, or they'll do the little videos where the players on each team are selecting their best five, and then even like just marketing around the stadiums. We see that a lot, and I think it's La Liga or maybe it's Serie A, where we'll see the banners behind the stadium and whatnot. So yeah, it could be that could all be integrated into the deal. Yeah, interesting. It needs to get done soon.
Agreed. And then there's a few comments there about the lack of talk about testing and bugs. They did talk on it for like a minute or so, and it was like, believe us, we're actually not releasing stuff that's broken on purpose. We do think we've got good staging and stuff like that, but it wasn't, like the guy said, it wasn't a long, drawn out part of the show, as it were. Or one that was filled with much detail. But yeah, it was decent. I enjoyed listening to it. It was a good one. It's always good to hear from the inside in terms of like their perspective on things, and that was one thing that Alok said regarding the J League, is he didn't see, or Sorare don't see the J League situation as a red flag. Like they're not internally. I think the message with that is they're not internally like worried. Oh, we're not going to get the J League. I think that's what he was saying. Whereas from the outside, obviously J League holders and Asia players will be worried, but. Anyway, I'm maybe putting words in their mouth at this stage, but that's kind of the inference I got from it,
Sure. I saw Nicholas is going to be on a French podcast with, if you go to the Sorare Data website, there's a banner there that I think on Monday, Nicholas will be doing a stream with, I assume, HG, and I don't know how, is it SR Roni or I don't know how to pronounce that. And then Andrew. Oh, it's broadcast in English. Okay. Rebroadcast on YouTube with English translation. I see Andrew Laird there, and I'm curious, is Andy going to be translating this for us, or
No, so Max and Laird are gonna get together afterwards, and Max is going to regale us on his chat with Nick.
okay?
So they'll translate and condense and summarize kind of
I
jazz.
see. I was gonna say I don't know. I guess that French has come along really well in the past week and a half or so. So interesting.
Yeah, definitely must have to.
Cool. Well, you got anything else for us today? We want to wrap up talking about this Mbappe card.
I think we're all good. Yeah.
Overall sentiment. Are we happy with 109 ETH for this card? Are we gonna dip? Are we gonna boom out of this? What's your take?
Well, you're the prophet, not me. You're the one that calls it. I don't know. Like, I don't know. People always look to the top for like. I remember when the first Mbappe went. You'll remember it as well. It was like, wow, that's incredible. 50,
Yep.
well, 60, whatever it was, fiat terms at the time. So yeah, I guess the top is like the the standard bearer or whatever, the kind of the champion of it all. Seeing it going over 100, I suppose, is nice aesthetically, I suppose, but it is down almost like a good 40% or something from last year on ETH terms. I don't know what the fiat is, so I don't know. You can look at it in a lot of different ways, but
Sure.
ultimately, I think what a lot of people do miss with this whole market sentiment is there's a huge detach across the market in terms of like different segments of, again, just for pure lack of a word, across different parts of like the economy of it all. Like people that are playing limiteds are not affected by this in any way, shape, or form. Like
Yeah.
they probably aren't even watching this show right now. You know, anyone watching this was probably just people that would watch the stream anyway, even if we were
Sure.
talking about
I think
paint
the
drying.
best.
You know,
I think the best take is that Pranksy didn't win it because now he's got 100 ETH to spend on the secondary market.
yeah, that's it for sure.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody joining. I don't know what Andrew Laird's content schedule looks like for the rest of this week. I don't know if he's got an NBA show. I don't know if I think he's already done office hours this week. So I'm not going to go through all that. But I appreciate everybody joining, and we will see you, I don't know, maybe next week, maybe not. We'll see.
I heard Laird is doing the first pitch at Yankee Stadium to open the new season.
Oh, let's go.
There you go.
Have a good night.
That was fun.